Hi guys, I'll be Dave here.
And I am Ash.
Together on a beautiful sunny English day.
Can you tell? He's got the guns out.
What do you mean?
It's a little pink. And this time he tried to blame me for not putting sunscreen on. But every time I've tried to tell him to put sunscreen on, he's like, no, I don't need it.
I explained to Ash early on in our relationship that the responsibility of the girlfriend of the ginger guy is that you have to make sure they have sun cream on, and from this day forward, every day I get burned is your fault.
No, it's not.
As long as you were there.
Like I said, I will be responsible for your kids, but you're a big boy now. You can put on
I'm a
sunscreen,
big boy.
I just love we're in the sun the same amount of time, and I got slightly pink, and it's now turning brown. And
I was sat.
I see the state of you.
We've got a south-facing garden, and I was sat facing towards the house, so sat sideways on the bench with the sun on the back of my neck the whole time we were eating.
It's just because you're ginger, sweetheart. Even your dad started to go red.
Barbecue for 3 people.
It was great.
It was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I have perfected chicken wings.
He has.
On the barbecue. Absolutely perfected.
The blowtorch helps as well.
I didn't blowtorch them.
Did you not? You usually do.
No.
Ooh.
No, in the oven for a bit, and then once they're partly cooked, they go on the barbecue on the hot side.
Yeah.
To crisp them up, get the skin beautiful.
It was good.
And then they go from the hot side to the cold side, and then you close the lid for a while and get a bit of that smoky beautifulness.
He also had chorizo sausages, which was pretty damn nice.
I'm still feeling it.
The intrusive thoughts.
Is real.
The intrusive thoughts. I want to slap the Sunburn.
It's disgraceful, isn't it?
No, it's not. No, it's not. Come on, we all watch fail videos, and we love a good bit of silliness.
It's true. I've noticed quite a few comments recently of people saying that, or asking me what my job is currently.
Yeah.
And people saying, that I left my job and I left the Office Blokes for a new job.
No.
I didn't. I don't have a job.
No.
I'm full-time studying. Like, I've got this little bit of YouTube we do here and nothing. So I'm poor and I've got no job.
No, and I'm the sugar mama who's...
You're the sugar mama who now has no job
Now
as
has
well.
no job until July.
We're going to be homeless soon.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
No, we'll be fine.
We're doing fine.
Right then, apparently there's been loads of requests for this.
And it's also, it's not that I don't have a job, I'm in between jobs.
That's what they all say.
No, I literally have a contract.
I know. Right, Scraps, Jordan Schlansky's masterpiece.
Okay.
You said there's been loads of requests
Loads of
for this
comments
in the comment section.
I can't remember the person who commented, but they literally said in the last one, I'm going to keep saying it, Jordan Schlansky's masterpiece, until you react to it. So
Okay. I'm not sure I've seen this before.
No, I didn't.
Obviously, I've seen a lot of Conan when I used to do the Office Blokes stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You ready for it?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Last week marked the 50th anniversary of Star Trek. The show went on the air September 8th, 1966. Now, some sci-fi fans who love Star Trek also love Star Wars. But some fanatics say no, you have to choose one or the other. One of those fanatics is our associate producer, Jordan Schlansky.
Of course he is.
There he is. Jordan is obsessed with Star Wars. He thinks it's far superior to Star Trek. But here's the thing. Jordan kind of reminds me of Spock. The lack of emotion, the robotic way of speaking, the absence of any behavior that could remotely be considered human. So I thought it would be fun for us to force Jordan to dress up as Spock and make him come out here and pay homage to Star Trek and congratulate all Trekkies on their 50th anniversary. He doesn't want to do it. We're making him do it because it's his fucking job. Please welcome Jordan Schlansky.
All I got is just no clapping.
I know. He looks like Spock.
Jordan, thank you very much for being here. Like the Spock costume. Now, first of all, tell us, why do you think Star Wars is superior to Star Trek?
Well, Star Trek is grounded in our own frame of reference, and as such, suffers from the limits of our own trite reality. In fact, Star Wars delves more into the worlds of fantasy and mythology, and touches on some universal mythological themes that have been present across humanity since the beginning of time. You'll find that most cultures on Earth share a common mythology. In fact, the Greek Odysseus was known as Ulysses in Rome, the Greek Zeus was known as Jupiter in Rome, the Greek Poseidon was known as Neptune in Rome, and you're talking about a story of a young farm boy from the middle of nowhere that goes up against a great oppressor. And this story is common in a lot of mythologies, such as Davy and Goliath. And you'll find, again, that this touches a core human emotion that we all need to explore through a fantasy world, those concepts which we cannot achieve in our own reality world. Now, on another note, I find that the...
I need a break.
I was going to say,
Jesus
like,
Christ.
I'm a nerd, and that's too much. And he's like saying a simple fanboy, but literally, like, the whole thing with Luke was he was connected to Darth Vader the whole way through, unless he's referring to Anakin, which is, and then he's like saying like Star Trek is, within certain limitations and realms. It's not. It's really not, because there's so much more fantasy involved in what than
Star Trek is more based around sort of present day humans, but with space travel, isn't it? I thought.
It's
and I say present
intergalactic
day like
space
that
travel.
because
Yes,
it's more like
it's trying to obviously create treaties.
Well,
and
Star Wars is just its own entire thing.
They're
with no frame of
separate. They're
reference.
both separate, which is why they should be enjoyed separately, and they shouldn't be like, oh, you have to like one and not the other one.
They're both stupid.
He does. He winds me up, and it's funny. He winds his son up as well.
Yeah, Oscar, my son, absolutely he loves Star Wars. And he's like, why don't you like Star Wars? And I have to say, it's not that I don't like it. It's just not my sort of thing. I'm not into space stuff, really.
But it's so funny because, like, now every time Oscar is out, he brings home a stick to paint into a lightsaber. He is so obsessed with Star Wars. He's more obsessed than I ever was, that he knows if I say, oh, who had the purple lightsaber, he'll know who had the purple lightsaber. Obviously, it's Samuel L. Jackson's character. I can't remember the guy's name. Anyway. And he's got his little like coloring book, and he's literally colored out every single lightsaber, the color, and then written the guy's name.
There's hope for him yet, though. He could sort himself out.
Those concepts which we cannot achieve in our own reality world. Now, on another note, I find that the universal worldwide acceptance of Star Wars is also grounded in this commonality that we all share. Instead of being limited through one frame of reference, through one focal point, we can see things in a cross-cultural manner, if you will. And in fact, to expand on that a little bit, I think that you'll find that the Star Wars universe is relatable for any culture on Earth, any economic standing, any financial standing on Earth. Because again, we're talking about themes that are core to the concept of humanity in general and emotional. Furthermore, I can tell you that the types of themes that you're talking about in Star Trek are limited towards a certain set of circumstances that exist in almost a two-dimensional plane, where in Star Wars you're really exploring different feelings about humanity, happiness, sadness, all the various spectrum of the human existence. And I find that even though you're talking about characters that are often not human, we as human beings can identify through their struggles. And you'll find that most great storytelling has to deal with a protagonist, an ordinary person up against extraordinary odds. And I think that if you look at the literature across the history of time, you'll find that a lot of the greatest stories have followed that same theme. The storyline is almost unimportant because you're talking about grand themes here about human achievement when faced with...
I have to. I know you're getting frustrated with it, and we're going to listen to this rant for quite some time. But he's comparing like moot points, because when he's talking about cultural differences that people can relate to in Star Wars, that's exactly what's in Star Trek. They have so many episodes talking about like the differences between obviously different races and species and stuff. And like a big protagonist. Come on. The Star Trek movie, like, seriously.
I actually went to see one of the movies.
It's amazing.
It was like maybe 8 years ago, something like that.
They always have a protagonist. Oh my God.
He's alright.
He's an idiot.
He's
an idiot.
This is driving me mental. If I was Conan by now, I would have gone, shut the fuck up.
Well, I think he's supposed to be, isn't he? That's what the start said, that he doesn't realise that he's supposed to do it. And he doesn't do it.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot about that bit. So he is technically supposed to be shutting Jordan up. But he doesn't know it.
And he's just letting Jordan get on with it.
Yeah, all right.
Unlikely odds. And furthermore, I can tell you that beyond that, it's something that we can all agree upon. It is all something that we can all identify with. And relatability, I'm sure you know, as someone that works in the storytelling world, is a concept that is necessary to have an audience invest themselves in the story that you're telling. I'll also tell you that the Star Wars universe, while on some level is very exotic, had a musical soundtrack grounded in 19th century romantic music. And in fact, I can relate Star Wars, the appeal of it, towards some of the great Impressionist paintings like the Dutch Van Gogh, because his paintings, although not photographic, if you will, or photorealistic, inspired our own imagination to latch on to the concepts present in the painting.
He is such a punt.
Right, I say Van Gogh, which I know is wrong. It's Van Gogh.
Yeah, because it's
But it's
Dutch
like, you know, as
I
an
know,
English
he's-
person, that's like someone who goes, do you want to make some food? I've got a little bit of chorizo.
I know.
Like that, and you're like, just shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up, say it properly.
Yeah.
Also, but I do hate it when people pronounce it wrong. Like I told you, my mate pronounces Chipotle as Chipotle.
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 I went to the largest Van Gogh exhibition ever in Basel, Switzerland,
Nice.
Art Basel, years ago. And there was a self-portrait that was the spitting image of me at the time, to the point where I stood next to it and people started taking pictures of me with the self-portrait.
Well, we went to
gathered a small crowd.
I know. We went to that Van Gogh live experience, didn't we? Where it had music and obviously pages from his
pretty cool.
diary. I think that was amazing.
Sorry, Van Gogh.
And for example,
Speaking
if you look
Klingon
at
now.
Van Gogh's Starry Night, you'll see that, again, while it doesn't necessarily look exactly like a city and stars and the wind blowing through the trees, you can feel the feeling of what it was like to be in that situation. You know, unlike looking at a photograph, which again gives you that two-dimensional representation, a split-second, microsecond in time, if we will. And as anyone knows that's had a bad photograph taken of them, a split second in time doesn't often represent the whole picture. However, when you're talking about the idea of a painting, and certainly an oil painting, an impressionist oil painting, you're not necessarily capturing all the minute details, you're capturing a feeling. Now, how do you put a feeling down on canvas? How do you put a feeling down on the screen? Well, that's the job of the artistic storyteller. And in fact, the storyteller in this case took his own human emotions, his own human struggles, and that of others, and put them into a fantastic circumstance, which none of us could have possibly experienced, yet can all take pride and relate to. Again, the young, struggling farm boy wanting to be a part of it. Now, these are themes that were touched upon in 1976's Rocky. I'm talking about the original Rocky. It wasn't about winning the fight. That movie is not a boxing movie. That movie is about an ordinary guy placed in extraordinary circumstances. A guy, he was the underdog. You know, another common concept you find in a lot of literature. He was the underdog that wanted to make good. All he wanted to do was go the distance. He wanted to make it to the Philadelphia Spectrum. It probably has some corporate branded name now. But at the time, 1976, shot in 1975, it was called the Philadelphia Spectrum.
He's just trying too
Theaters
hard.
and arenas, amphitheaters had real names back then.
like he's trying to convince
you know, I think
himself.
Fenway Park is still named as such. Candlestick Park, I'm sure, has been renamed. I don't really follow sports myself, but I've heard these terms said. And I
Oh my
know that
God.
a lot of the original, like Shea Stadium, I think is like Citibank Field or something. But that's not really relevant to what I'm talking about here, but interesting nevertheless. However, what I'm saying is that
How long
for an
have we got
artist to
left?
accurately portray a
Jesus.
feeling on film or canvas or whatever the medium, I mean, you could be talking about a mound of clay. Really, the artistic medium is irrelevant. When a singer gets up and sings, you don't care about the vocal cords vibrating at certain frequencies. You're trying to take part in and relate to a certain feeling that that artist is trying to convey. When a sculptor takes a look at a hunk of mud and clears away certain sections to make this great monolith of art, again, it's not about the minerals that are present in the mud, it's about the feeling that you're trying to convey.
They do that in Star Trek. He's zoned out so hard.
You're fired. Get the fuck out of here and never come back.
I thought you were going to cut me off at some hand, so I just...
No, it doesn't say I cut him off.
Yeah, no.
It doesn't say I cut him off.
We wanted you to take your own cue.
First of all, that was an incredible performance. It really was. I
Just goes, yeah.
was waiting for you to finish so that I could say my line and didn't know. I thought that was part of what they had in mind, was that he goes on for 6 minutes. I didn't know.
Wow.
That was, I mean, good
It was
on John
impressive.
Schlansky because he just improvised, but he was grasping at straws. It was a bit too much. And honestly, I'm not a massive nerd when it comes to either Star Trek or Star Wars, but I do appreciate them both. And he was making like points about Star Wars that are in Star Trek, which was a little frustrating. I hate when people do that. It's just like they're trying to convince themselves or like forcibly, tell people, oh no, one's better than the other one. It's like, no, they're completely separate. They should be appreciated as separate things, different ideas.
You know all I know about Star Trek is that, and then you do that, and then you like stuff like that. That's what happens in it, doesn't it? Star Scissoring, it's called.
But he talks about like
I've got
connecting
to
with people
entertain
and human emotion.
somehow.
Like that's everything with Star Trek is about like the connections between people, how they deal with certain events, and how they communicate with each other, and then also like with Spock trying to battle with his human side.
Got my own little Jordan Schlansky here. Jesus Christ. I don't mind space horror stuff. Event Horizon is an absolute classic of a movie.
Film.
But the fact that it's based in space is kind of moot because it's a horror movie. That could have been based in a dungeon.
No, but that makes it worse because there's no way out.
But it's like The
There's so
Descent.
unknown.
It's that same sort of vibe.
No, but they never explain in Event Horizon if there is something in that ship with them, or if the guy just loses his mind in like the expanse of space.
Yeah, that's what's so good about it.
I know exactly because it's space.
No, space is moot.
No, it's
it
not.
really is.
Because you don't know if there's an alien on board, like an alien
But
entity,
that
or
same
not.
story could have been told in a ship lost at sea. It could have been told in a fucking like the Descent style cave system.
No, it wouldn't have the same grounding.
It would.
No, because space is so mysterious to us.
You know, I don't mind space like action. Exciting. Like Dune was pretty good. That's kind of space, isn't it?
I mean, intergalactic, not really space.
I just don't like the pew pew sort of space. I feel like it's a bit like. Come on. I like winding Ash up because whenever I talk about Star Wars, I say it's one of the most successful children's franchises out there. For kids' movies, they're absolutely great. For children's movies, for young, tiny children movies, Star Wars are pretty good.
I hate you.
See, it works.
Watch The
every time.
Mandalorian with me.
I'll watch it because Bill Burr's in it.
Yeah, a little bit.
So I will watch it.
He's only in love
I'll watch
with
it because I'll watch it with Oscar.
Also,
as well.
Pedro Pascal, who is the Mandor.
Okay, cool. Exciting. Right then, I'd love to say that was a really good Conan video, but Jesus Christ. It was interesting.
I mean, I enjoyed it. I think obviously people are aiming that for me to get a bit riled about obviously the long old disagreement about Star Wars and Star Trek, but then people forget about Battlestar Galactica and
People are like that with Apple and Android. It's sad. Everyone's got to pick a side.
I know, why not just accept that, okay, you like that and I like this. End of story.
Yeah. Space stuff is stupid and
No,
everything
it's
else
not.
is pretty good.
Although
Right
my
then.
brother's more into Star Trek than he is to Star Wars, and him and I have argued
My dad
about
was a
that.
massive Star Trek fan growing up, so he used to have like the
Great.
original series on TV. So I used to watch a bit of it.
It's amazing.
That's what the Doors did, didn't they? Or am I just making that up?
I mean, doors open like that in many films.
No, but they were like, there was people doing it and they made a noise, didn't they? That's how they actually did it.
Well, there's lots of things where they had sound engineers in the background, just like with coconuts making horse.
Oh yeah, that's called being a Foley engineer.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sure they made the noises.
My favourite one, and we're going to finish now after I say this, is because I studied like sound recording and production and stuff. That's where I become a nerd. Mm-hmm. Is when they were doing the Foley recording for the Star Wars movies. They essentially played the sound out of a speaker that a lightsaber would make, and then they sellotaped or gaffer taped microphones to the end of sticks, and then they watched the fight scenes and the microphone. They would wave in front of the speaker that's going ooh,
Oh, and then get the
like that, and it'd be ooh, zoom, ooh, zoom.
I mean, it's cool. It's like I pointed
For
out
me,
to
that's
you.
cool because I like the
Well,
audio.
it's
side
like
of
I
it.
said to you, the
Foley.
Foley of Jurassic Park. A lot of the dinosaur noises is slowed down lion, horses, and cows.
Yeah, and me.
I'm gonna
Right then, we're going to end. Cheers for that one, guys. Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you, my child. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with us, and we'll see you all very soon.
Bye, guys.